Hello and welcome to watch this video. Please remember that this kind of technique that it can show you some beautiful sceneries just by a piece of red paper cut by scissors. Maybe you will think that it is difficult and even impossible to do that, but it is true and it really exists. That is paper cutting, a kind of intangible cultural heritage in Manchurian culture in northeastern China. So in this video, we'll go on a journey about learning something about this, and then we'll learn a teacher who is trying to make it more famous around the world. So now let's go. On April 27th, our university hosted a themed exhibition on Manchu intangible cultural heritage from the Changbai mountain region. Many visitors came to experience the events. Before the event began, a lively younger dance performance drew everyone's attention. Later, university leaders and guides unveiled a plaque for the newly established Institute of Intangible Cultural Heritage. As I stepped into the exhibition hall, I was greeted by a dazzling array of exhibits showcasing every facet of Manchu culture. And of course, among them were several paper cutting works created by today's featured artist, Professor Wang Ji, and his students. Look, she's introduced them to the guests right now.
The children went out to do sketches, then expressed their ideas through paper cutting. It was honestly quite surprising. Many artists were really impressed. Using paper cutting to capture quick sketches is actually our own creative approach.
After reviewing the artworks, I began to reflect on the meaning of preserving traditional Manchu paper cutting and how this art form can be passed on to future generations. With many questions in mind, I turned to Professor Wang and asked her to share her personal journey.
I first came into contact with Manchu paper cutting when I was very young. My father worked in the culture sector and often met many folk artists. At home, my grandma was also very good with her hands since I was a child. She often cut me clothes and would cut paper to entertain me. It was something I absorbed naturally, just by being around it. Many elders at the time could do this kind of paper cutting, simple but full of character. My father was actually the one who proposed the idea of Changbai mountain Manchu paper cutting as a cultural concept. But even then, the craft was already fading. It was no longer part of daily life, and few people showed it anymore. For me, it's a vivid childhood memory. To me, Manchu paper cutting is unique because of its style and rhythm. But when I was learning it as a kid, it didn't feel like a challenge at all. Unlike school subjects like math or language, there were no grades or criticism. No matter how I cut the paper, everyone around me would cheer. It was pure joy. There was no sense of failure. Why do we care about preserving folk art or intangible heritage today? It's because they carry human cultural memory. We've gone from fishing and farming to industrialization and now the information age. Every step leaves behind cultural traces. When we look at something like paper cutting, it's more than just a craft. It's rooted in that long shared history. We are continuing a tradition that speaks to who we are as a people. In the classes, it's not just about technique. I want students to broaden their vision and really engage with art. When they enter my classroom, I teach them one-on-one based on their individual needs. It's not standardized. It's hand-to-hand, heart-to-heart. That kind of learning experience never becomes outdated. It's what matters most.